Hello guys and welcome to a sketchbook tour video. You'll have to excuse my poor quality nails, she says, showing the only good nail. They have not been doing very well. I don't know why I'm going off topic immediately. Anyway, I tried recording this sketchbook tour like last year when I finished it, but my camera has, well, not my camera, but the SD card has gone missing and I don't have an SD card reader slot on my computer, so I'd have to use my laptop, which doesn't work very well. Oh, it's just a nightmare. So I thought I'd record it on my phone, and then you guys would just have to put up with it. So here we go. This is, let's go to the back page first to show you what this is. This is a Winsor & Newton heavyweight case-bound sketchbook. It's A6 and it had 96 pages. And it was 170 GSM. This is like the thickest sketchbook I've ever owned, so... Also, I think this is the nicest sketchbook I've ever owned. Like, it was really cool. So let's start at the beginning then, shall we? This may have personal details in, actually, so I'll have to be careful. Okay, they're at the very front. Cool. Right, so this is the very first page. This is when I started it and ended it and how long it lasted and what I was gonna put in the sketchbook. I wanted to warn everyone beforehand, this whole sketchbook was dedicated towards character design and development, aka a series of unimaginative poses and dull expressions, because I didn't want to learn them, and also I just enjoyed making characters way too much to bother. So I started this on the 19th of November 2018, and I ended it on the 1st of January 2019 at 2 AM. So it could have been finished on the final day of December, but no, I stayed up too late to finish it. And it lasted me 43 days. This is the first sketchbook I've ever owned that I've actually finished. Although that's not saying much because I did miss out 5 pages at the back because I just couldn't be bothered. But yeah, I've never finished a sketchbook before. I've only ever gotten like a couple of pages in and then gotten a new one or lost it or given up. So I was very pleased with my progress in this. Also, my art style, having a look at this first drawing, has changed quite drastically. So sorry if my head causes a shadow. This is Castrol. He is a character of mine. I'm not going to go through everything in too much detail, hopefully. This may have to be in multiple parts if I speak for too long. Right, so this is Castrol. He is like, he's what I call a new god. And new gods in my world are basically characters that have godlike powers but aren't gods. He can basically take souls from, like, the realm of the dead and bring them back to life to work for him as angels, but it uses a bit of his life source and it, like, damages himself. Yeah, anyway, this is some outfit designs for him. He looks a little bit like Rey from Star Wars in that, actually. I didn't like that design because I put a cross there, obviously. I also wrote about his abilities and did like a little shadow angel. This is Nikita. I made them just for this sketchbook. Like, I've never thought about Nikita before, whereas I already made Castrol a design. They are androgynous or gender fluid or something. I wasn't really entirely sure what I wanted them to be. I made some cool designs. They sort of remind me of the Princess Bride sort of style of clothing. I don't quite know why. I haven't even watched all of the Princess Bride, so yeah. Hairstyle ideas. Basically, that's an excuse. I was trying to draw heads and I screwed up. And so I just made hairstyle ideas. Very dull. Actually that bun isn't too bad. I drew Lucina. She is one of my older characters, and she is an android. And she wears bunny ears. She doesn't in the story, but I drew her one day wearing bunny ears, and I haven't stopped since. Ooh, the creation of Owen, who is now one of my main characters. He was made on the 24th of November. I've told myself I was going to try and mention every date, but I haven't. Owen. There you go, that's how you spell it. That's the Scottish Gaelic version of the Irish Owen. It usually doesn't have an inflection. He is a knight. Yeah, I really like Owen. I'm so glad I designed him. Like, he's just, This is also the sketchbook where I started learning how to draw males. I've never really drawn males too much before, so I thought I'd put a lot of effort into this to learn them. Pose ideas, fucked them up quite a bit. Then I did some more character designs for the new era of my world. This is Prince Stellis. He is the youngest prince, made him on the 26th. I also made his brother, his older brother, Prince Llewellyn, on the 26th. He is the older brother and heir to the throne. And this is Winda. She is, well, I wanted her to be a half-elf because the elves have basically died out in my story, but I don't know if I actually want her to be an elf now. Because I've written some other ideas, but yeah, she has cool, like, root, grassy shoulder pad armor. She's pretty cool. She's like a druid. You know, like, old pagans and stuff? She's like one of those. I wanted to design another character, maybe a blacksmith, but I didn't like his design, so I was like, I'll just give him the horrible role of being a stable hand. Ooh, this, I'm very happy with this drawing. This is Sir Owen. I used a reference photo for this. He's got his hair up in this one because the guy in the photo had his hair up, and I just, oh, I love it. And then I tried to draw Demetrius. Demetrius is the main character who I have loads of issues drawing. I cannot draw him for the life of me. So I managed to draw him once for his ref sheet and never again. So I was like trying to force myself to draw him more. He's nah. This is Prince Owen again. Prince Owen? Not Sir Owen, Jesus. He is in armor. I made him a little arm gauntlet, but he actually doesn't have his right arm. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. He wears this gauntlet, but he can't use it. It's just to pretend he has an arm. This is a male Zyashi, and a Zyashi is a race of mine. It's a sort of like troll orc type people. I have a female character who is the origin of the Zyashi, and her name is Valeria, and because I've never really drawn anything other than Valeria, I thought I'd see what a male Zyashi would look like, and I quite like it. I had a lot of fun drawing this actually. I didn't use a reference. I decided to go really extreme with the shapes and the definition of the eyebrow and the chin and stuff, and I think it turned out quite nicely. Hands and bodies. Before this, I mean, I could always draw hands quite alright, I guess, but I've never been able to draw feet before. So I started studying feet. I've got this weird thing where if I draw something once, I can usually recreate it in different angles and it won't look shit. It will usually look okay. And that's what happened with the feet. I think I can make feet quite nicely now, and I only need to draw one foot. I don't know. Anyway, that one's not too bad. I mean, not too good, but my dad likes it. Don't know why. Don't know why I'm saying this. I decided to go on, there's these websites that you can get. I don't think I used a reference for these top 2 feet. There's a website you can get online, and it gives you poses, and I think this was a pose that I tried drawing. But I, like, did it all wrong, because I was trying to bunch up into a small sketchbook. Also, I had art block on this day. When was this day? 29th of November, so I drew chibis. If I have art block, I draw chibis, because it's the only thing I can draw. So this is a chibi Sir Owen. And I actually made his outfit design of this, so it was useful in the end to draw a chibi version, because you can actually do the outfit design. Then I decided to design the king, because we've got Prince Stellis and Llewellyn, so we need a king. So this is King Furion. I didn't like his design, but I've come to realise that just because I don't like the look of designs, because I think they look ugly, doesn't mean I should get rid of them, because not all of my characters are allowed to look attractive. So I'm keeping him. And then I also had another photo from a study pose website that I copied from, so this is that. I quite like this one actually. I guess I had art block on this day a little bit, so I had a fun scrappy doodle page, so I didn't have to worry about things looking ugly. And then I've not been doing any emotions before. I literally just stick to flat faces. So I was like, I need to do some emotion stuff. So this is also the sketchbook where I start learning emotions for the first time. Yeah, not very good. Also, you might see random notes of like character names and ideas for storylines in here. Just ignore them. More drawings of Sir Owen, except he looks a little bit more feminine in this one. He changes a lot. I can't keep my characters consistent looking. Ooh, the 1st of December. Dragons and beasts. They're not dragons. I basically realised I don't do enough creature designing, so... Also, when I have art block and I can't draw people, I have to draw monsters. So I designed this sort of long-necked skeletal type thing. This underwater creature, some sort of minotaur-y skull thing, and like an ogre, I don't know. And then I thought, why not try and learn the basis for head anatomy, because the heads so far have been pretty shitty. So yeah, I found this cool website that like breaks down sort of the structure of heads and stuff at different angles. I don't know why I use these, they didn't really help much. These help, those don't. And then that looks like my dad, but I swear to God it was actually a reference photo. So like, that was very weird. But yeah, head practice. I think, to be honest, these helped in the long run, but these didn't really help. They were too complicated. I didn't really learn anything from copying them, whereas these, I learnt stuff from copying it, so... Ooh, this is the page, the 2nd of December, where I designed my water panther, which I named, but I don't know if I wrote the name anywhere. This is my water panther design. It looks like this. They have like frills. It's sort of like a Vaporeon, actually. I've realised that's probably where I've taken the design from. They have like a frill around their neck, and down the back and stuff, and on their legs, and they have little fishy tails and webbed paws. Basically, sea cats. What more can you want? The 3rd of December, I guess I had a lot of art block during this time for humans. I made this, which is a swamp crow, which basically I also drew a size comparison here. They're freaking huge. They're basically just skeletons, but they have swampy tendrils hanging from them, if you know what I mean. Like when you see videos of swamps, they're all slimy and disgusting. Yeah, because they live there, they just sort of grow these tendrils. So that's pretty cool. They're like mounts, I guess. If you know what a mount is. I would presume you do. It's not just Warcraft wording. I definitely had art block on this page, but I drew an android design. Because Lucina is an android, but like she's in a fantasy world, so I was like, why have I put her in here? So I felt I needed to add some more onto androids, and I made a thing called Sentinels. So yeah, torso practice. I did say I couldn't draw males. I've been trying in this sketchbook. That belly button looks a little bit too high, but there's a lot of things wrong with my art, so I can't really... Oh my goodness, I had major art block on this day. I remember so well. Art block pages. I hated my art at this point. 4th of December. That was the better of all of these drawings. I drew some sort of scholar design and curly haired man. I usually don't try and cross out or erase things that I don't like, because it reminds me of that I have bad days and good days, but I obviously hated this so much that I had to cross it out. And then a girl. Oh my goodness, just ignore these pages. I hate them. Oh, I really like that next page though. So I thought I should probably practice drawing weapons and stuff because I'm really bad and I had art block, but I still don't know how to draw weapons properly. And then I made a design of a character to put in my world based off of my friend, and his name is like a huge backstory based on the demon Lilith and stuff. Oh, here we go. The name for the water panther is Panero. Nero is, what is it, Greek for water, and it has pan for panther. Panther water, or water panther. 5th of December, I drew an amazing character. I love this page. And Darius, he is a blacksmith, but also a senior knight. And he has, I don't want to like seem, oh, I'm bringing up the topic of race in a them in video. This is not going to end well. I don't want to seem racist, but I also wanted his features to be visible and not colour his skin in too dark, because it would be difficult to see the features because he has a very faint scarring and stuff. So he does have darker skin. I did label it, but I didn't colour it this colour that it actually is. A lot of character notes about his design and stuff. He owns a Panero to work on his blacksmith. He also owns another creature, but I'm not allowed to say, because if I do ever release my story to the public, it would be spoilers. So yeah, and that is what his armor looks like and his blacksmith uniforms. Oh, also his height compared to Sir Owen, which is actually wrong. He is so much taller than that. Sir Owen's really short. I also am not very good at drawing buildings, so I tried to draw buildings. It didn't help. I still can't draw buildings, but it was cool looking at blacksmith designs and forges on Google and trying to make my own. Was this 7th of December? Skip days due to digital art. Oh yeah, sometimes on the weekends if I was doing digital art I wouldn't be able to draw traditionally, so I'd have to like skip a couple of days or not draw much. I wanted to try and draw every day, but obviously I couldn't. So yeah, these are poses for Faraday and spoilery story stuff. You don't need to know that. Random doodles. Obviously I had art block on this day as well. So this looks like the creature from Merlin, if you know what I mean. I hope I can put a picture on screen, but my editing software isn't very good because I literally use Windows Movie Maker. Foot. Quite a nice foot. But yeah, that looks like the creature from Merlin in the caves with Gawain. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Some sort of swampy, creaturey, moosey oxen thing. Young Faraday. Basically I tried drawing Faraday, but he looked too young. So since then I have learnt how to make men look older. Don't worry. I tried drawing different eye emotions. I have changed my eye style recently. Like the last day I've changed my eye style and I can do emotions so much better with them. Noses, mouths. I've also changed my nose style and my mouth style. Hands. Also I wrote about my new era AU, the modern day AU and the apocalypse AU. I've got lots of different ideas for my characters and storyline. I like this hand, it's very cute. And then I tried drawing Owen in modern day loungewear. I picture him wearing like a baggy hoodie and boxers and nothing else. And then when he's at work, a tight white shirt and a jacket and a tie. And he wears that because he is a barkeep slash barista. I don't actually know what a barista means, but if it means what I think it means, then it's like a cocktail drink serving person at a bar. Which is also, I would put barkeep because I don't know if that is what a barista is. But yeah, he looks pretty cute in that. I don't like his face, but if you just look at the outfit, it's quite nice. Art block, again, obviously on the 11th. So, tried drawing a chibi, didn't like her. Never kept her. Thought I would. I tried doing a little thumbnail for a drawing of all of my characters that I wanted to do, where they're in height order. This is another idea where they're just in a group. Didn't go with any of them. Then I made this design. Was thinking of either Lionel, Emmett or Carlisle for his name. Didn't really keep him. Obviously art block because all I drew was an animal and random heads looking the same direction. This looks a little bit like Shiro. I don't know why I drew him, but I just drew this random guy. This is a very, like, weird looking male. I think I named him Jesper in the end. But I had loads of different name ideas for him here. And I wanted to do a Zombie Apocalypse AU drawing. And I do have the sketch for that. The digital sketch. I might put it on screen if I remember. But I probably won't be able to. But yeah, I did try and do this. But I didn't like the drawing after I finished the line art. So I never continued with it. But yeah, different gun poses. Gun pose. I've never drawn guns before, so that was another thing I had to learn. I didn't use references for these faces. Good to know. 13th/14th of December 2018. I was in history. I remember this. I was in history and I was drawing these faces, ignoring what the teacher said about the Cold War and stuff. And yeah, I was really happy with this female. I don't really like her now too much, but eh. And then also I saw the squirrel outside, so I decided to draw him. I really like the way that I did the hands and feet. It was just like quick doodles, so I couldn't do anything detailed, so I just gave him little black claw-like hands and feet. Also, I tried drawing Legolas, because the last time I drew Legolas, sorry, I was like 11 or something. I wanted to see if I improved. I've improved in my anatomy and shading, but it's still really shit. I just can't draw Legolas in general, to be fair. Ooh, here we go. This is I don't know where this came from. I saw this on Google, I think, and I decided to make a variation of it. And the mask reminds me of the mask from that lady in Wonder Woman who does the gas experimentation. Anyway, I wanted to name this guy Lazarus. I've never used him since I designed him, though. Art block on the 15th, apparently. Because I drew this sort of, like, guy who looks like, apparently, some grumpy, perverted, old rock guitarist retired from a band, lol. And I decided to draw some gargoyle designs, in which I then further developed. Which is something I've never done before, really. Not properly. I've never done thumbnails in a sketchbook, and then in the same sketchbook finish the thumbnail in a better, fuller drawing. But yeah, gargoyle. And also, gargoyle! Like, the development, the little thumbnail sketches to like a messy but also quite finished sketch to a fucking hell that is fully shaded. Yeah, I wanted to see how my shading was. My shading is so bad, I cannot shade. And I did a cool stripy background. And I tried to make this lineless so you can see like the legs aren't lined very well. I don't know. Poses on this page because art block. Oh, this is the statue of David, I think, and I decided to draw it. Alright, this was the 16th of December, and it was just a day where I wanted to draw statues, because statues do actually help you when drawing. If you copy from a photo of a statue, then you can see the shadows and lighting better, because it's made out of stone, or whatever, and they're usually naked, so you can see full body anatomy. I really liked the idea of this one, but I didn't like the execution. But this one wasn't too bad. Ooh, this is the origin of Lysander, who is a sort of a dragonkin character. He's spawn of a cursed demon thingy in my storyline. He's albino, he has scales on his back and a tail and long hair. He looked really cute in this, but ever since I've drawn him, he's like Demetrius. I can't draw him properly. And then I drew this cool pose design that I wanted to further develop, obviously over here, where because his spinal plates are basically like dragon scales, he can deflect stuff like bullets, so he's like curling around a child there. 17th of December, I wanted to make villains. I don't have many villains in my story, so I started writing ideas about what sort of villains I wanted. And then I wrote about gargoyles, because I'd drawn gargoyles previously, so why not write about them? So they're a thing now, gargoyles and golems. Basically, I'll give you a breakdown of it. Gargoyles are made by powerful warlocks, or just any warlocks, but the powerful ones can only make the big ones. And they're made from clay or stone. The smaller ones are easier to bring to life because they use up a lot of power, but it doesn't need too much if they're small. Whereas the bigger they get, the more power they need to bring to life, which is why you don't see many of them, because you need strong warlocks to produce them, and there's not very many strong warlocks around. Does that make sense? Anyway, so yeah, this would be like a really strong warlock carving like a really fucking powerful gargoyle. And then some clothing design for Lysander. Tried designing villains. I made this sort of like sea queen creature, didn't like her. Made this sort of like golem thingy, didn't like it. Some creature with a sword stuck in his head, didn't like it. Some sort of, I don't know, didn't like it. And then I drew, this is quite cute, I drew Lysander staring up at the moon and stars. The placement of his tail is a bit unfortunate, but if you don't think about it that way, then it's fine. someone sitting in a chair, some sort of staff, which looks really cool. And I was watching Supernatural at the time of drawing this page with my mum, so I decided to try and do fan art of Sam. You can tell it's Sam if I told you it was Sam, but not if I didn't tell you who it was. And here, I drew Lysander. I like the emotion I put in his face. These 2 pages were like emotion practice time. But he looks a little bit too young for what I was going for, but it's quite close. And there's this zebra. She is a character of mine that I made a while ago, and never did anything with, so I brought her back. Also, I wanted to draw my Pokemon team with my favourite Pokemon and me in it, and I was going to be carried by Blastoise, but I'm not very good at drawing Pokemon, so I just sort of abandoned it. Also, I did this when I was waiting for the bus to college, and I saw this guy wearing like a cowboy hat, and I wrote, "Sometimes there are random cowboys in town," and then drew his hat. I was also drawing someone walking that I saw in the street. More Lysander poses. This is, they're called the Recyclers, and basically I made them, I don't remember when or why, but they're little characters that live in sort of like trash areas, and they make clothes out of trash and stuff. So Baggins, obviously a name based on a bag, and Zachary based on Zachary but with a sack. So, you know, and I wrote about religion and stuff for my wild. Tried practicing the anger emotion with Nikita and some sort of couple pose. And then on the 18th of December I drew this mermaid because I had art block again. I have a lot of art block. Some sort of weird rooty creature and a little mini Demetrius. And then the 19th I drew some pose ideas for Veronway and Faraday. And then on the 20th I drew a gas mask because I had a little bit of space. I had art block on all 3 of these days. And then also on the 20th, I drew this cool female torso, but I was slanted at this angle, so it came out a bit weird. I drew this kid, I don't know, and then I drew Owen again, but he changed ages, so I was like, why does Owen keep changing ages? Yay! Little cute huggy pose ideas. Some weird alien creature. The face. 21st, and I wrote down what digital art I did because I didn't do any traditional. So I did show that I did draw on that day. 22nd, I decided to do some little landscape thumbnails because I'd never drawn backgrounds really properly. 23rd, been doing a lot of digital art, so very few traditional sketches done. And the 24th, I wrote draw more. I drew Demetrius, and he didn't look like shit for once. I've not been able to draw him properly outside of his ref sheet and have him look like himself. And I drew him in a sort of, just ignore that, Phone Booth, Minority Report, 12 Monkeys, Memento, Source Code. Films that I enjoy. I write down a lot of films in my sketchbooks. 25th, didn't improve this year. I think I did, a little bit. This is Aegis. It was getting close to Christmas. Oh wait, it was Christmas Day, so I drew a Christmas Aegis. And then some random poses. This is when I got my new pencil, which is, it was literally, it should be just here. Oh, this is useful. Well, my pencil is now missing, which is not a good sign. It's a Pilot, is it a Pilot? It's like a special mechanical pencil that has a spring in it so the lead doesn't break. I tried drawing fan art of Icky because I got an Amnesia collector's edition box thing. Rodeo Jim. Basically, one of my favourite films is Silence of the Lambs, and you know the villain Buffalo Bill in it? One time, because I'm very, very, very bad with names, I couldn't think of his name, so when I try to think of people's names, I associate them with something. So if I forget Tom Cruise's name, which yes, I do forget him, I have to go through ship, boat, cruise, Tom Cruise, and then I get to Tom Cruise. So with Buffalo Bill, somehow I go to Rodeo Jim. Jim is a similarly common name like Bill, and rodeo just reminds me of Texas, which buffaloes remind me of Texas. Oh, here we go. Zebra Delgard pencil. What does that say? Welcome to Marwen. I don't know. some sort of werewolf character, because Demetrius is the only werewolf in my world at the moment, and then some random dude with a cleft palate, because I was inspired by, what was that from? Was that from Red Dragon? I don't know. 26th, I drew some random cornrowed creature, and then I drew Demetrius in his werewolf form with a girlfriend. I finally gave him a girlfriend, and this is her! Her name is Sathine. Her name is stolen from one of my characters on World of Warcraft. I absolutely adore this drawing. She is absolutely gorgeous, and I kept the cleft palette idea and gave her it. She is so cute. Oh, I love her. He deserves the world, and he got it. Like, God, I treat my characters so poorly. 27th, I had a human art block again, so I drew Necrissa in her tiger form. Nobody knows who Necrissa is. And then, oh, wait, did I skip a page? No. Okay, this is the drawing that I did. One of the first realistic drawings I've done properly that I don't hate, of Sir Gawain from Merlin on the 27th of December. I wrote down what I hated about it as well. This was a 5 to 8 minute sketch. I didn't write down the exact time because I forgot to time it. But yeah, not too bad. I had the reference photo actually here somewhere. I'll get it up for you. There we go. Reference photo, sketch. Reference photo, sketch. Not too bad, but definitely not good. Little cute dragon chibi. Another Aegis. I can't draw my own OCs consistently because you can see Aegis looks very different. Random pose doodles. A chibi Andarius. And a chibi Lucerne, which I hated, so didn't finish. And then I tried drawing Santiago Cabrera or Lancelot in Merlin. Very, very horrible. Despise it. And art block, obviously. Hated that drawing. And I tried drawing Demetrius over Sathine. Didn't like it. He's too small in that one. And then I drew him again with Sathine. He's very bemused looking. Old man Faraday. I tried drawing Faraday and I made him look too old. Also, this was the time where it was closing up onto January, and I wanted to finish this before January, so I was like, can you tell I'm trying desperately to fill this? I was rushing everything. Like, I was just doing huge drawings. Lysander riding a dragon, even though there's no dragons in my world. Some random trees, Demetrius in wolf form, some little logos and icons and more films and random cute creatures and faces and horrible things that are horribly drawn, but I wanted to fill up the sketchbook really quickly. I drew some guns. I actually took time to draw the guns. 30th of December, 2 more days to finish this entire sketchbook. Ever since drawing that gun, this was from a reference photo, I think this might have been, but I don't remember, I was able to draw guns ever since then. Very weird. Daggers, knives, another Owen. Coordinates to a Minecraft thing. Watched Bumblebee. Wanted to watch Fighting with My Family, which is coming out soon, I think. The Shadow of Israfel Nightmare Awoken video had happened. And I drew what happened to Owen's arm. And then I drew this cool sort of creature that I've kept. It's like a mandrill baboon cat, and some witch and an Argonian. And then I tried drawing Sir Leon or Rupert Young. This is also horrible. Hands, feet, weird creature. The picture of Gawain, some random space cat. And my Happy New Year's page. Gave myself a little message, ending the sketchbook here and apologising. I drew this little bird and Nia in a party hat. So yeah. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry I've suddenly gone from nice stable filming to like shaky filming. My GorillaPod just doesn't want to work, and also it's the next day. I had to go because I was exhausted and my phone was like, nah, I'm not gonna keep recording. So yeah, thanks for watching. I mean, I'm just gonna do a quick sketchbook review before I fully go, but yeah, if you're not interested in knowing about how good this sketchbook is, then you can click away now if you want. Sketchbook, if you want a reminder, since it's been so long since the beginning of this video, it is the Winsor & Newton Heavyweight Casebound Sketchbook A6 170 GSM with 96 pages. It is really good. It handles marker like that. You can see that's Copic marker. I did like some quick flicks and they don't come through too much, but if you go and do it quite heavily, it does come through, but I think a lot of paper does that. So acrylics, it handles fine. I didn't test watercolour in it, so I'm not too sure. But the pencil, I don't know if it's the paper. Let's have a look. I don't know if it's the paper or if it's the fact that it's heavy like a hardback. I think it's a mixture of both. Pencil does not smudge easily in this sketchbook. The paper is really smooth, but it picks up the pencil really nicely, and the pencil doesn't smudge too easily. Whereas, I'll give you a comparison example in my new sketchbook. You can see the smudging is mental in my new sketchbook. So, that's the difference. But it also could be because this is a spiral bound sketchbook and the pages all rub together. But anyway, it doesn't smudge too easily. It's really smooth paper, it's really thick, and the paper folds out quite nicely. I've not really had any issues with drawing in it, other than the fact that you have to have it open the whole time, you can't bend it back on itself. And the spine has been doing quite well. It holds up really nicely. And it was quite a cheap sketchbook. I got it from nope. What's that place in Southampton? There's like Hobbycraft. I got it from Hobbycraft. I just was about to Google it. It was a couple of pounds, I don't remember. It was something like £3 or £4. But yeah, it's definitely worth getting if you want a small sketchbook that is heavy duty and a thick GSM with quite a lot of pages. This does the job really nicely. I filled this in about a month, and I was attempting to draw every day, but I did fail. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, I will be putting up another sketchbook tour on this channel soon. I am over halfway done with my second sketchbook, so that will be recorded hopefully by the end of this month or the start of next. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm not very good at ending videos, so I'm just gonna say see you guys later, and that's it. Bye!